Angles and perspectives can be overwhelming in our present world of information overload. This is introducing Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a current affairs discussion phone-in program covering topical issues in the polity. The program is a platform for an in-depth analysis of trending issues by professionals, authorities in various fields, analysts, and key actors in the polity. Ground Zero gives the listener an opportunity to contribute to the discussion via phone call, SMS, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. From the controversial serious to the ridiculously funny, Ground Zero accommodates them all. Professionals, urban contemporary businessmen and women, policymakers, public service workers, students, artisans, traders, and the in-between. Ground Zero comes up on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 4 to 5 p.m. Ground Zero. This program is exclusive to Invicta 98.9 FM. Tune in.
Another lovely Tuesday evening, and you're right here tuned to Invicta 98.9 FM. And every Tuesday we say thank God it's good to be alive, and it's time for us to talk about some topical issues in the polity. And today on the program Ground Zero, we shall be looking at some things that we really need to talk about, because most often than not, the average Nigerian would want to shy away from some areas and term or categorize some areas as untouchable. But on Ground Zero, we touch every area and we look at everything. And today on the program, I already have my guests standing by. We are going to connect to one via the telephone, while we already have Eddy Ochigbo, a media strategist, seated here. Abdul Bako, President of Campaign for Democracy, which I'll be connecting to him via phone. And broadly, I'll be looking at the unending worsening security in the country, especially kidnappings on our highways, vis-à-vis the sustained and fruitless calls for the president to sack the service chiefs. We'll also be looking at the high cost of foodstuffs and cost of living in the country as a result of hike in electricity, fuel, and other things that are leading to devaluation of the Naira, thereby widening the gap between the rich and the poor. But before we start to talk about these things, let us go straight and take some messages. And right after the message, after these messages, we'll go full throttle on the program Ground Zero.
Win every day with Center Fresh and Center Fruit Cash and Airtime Dash.
Every day is winning day.
Big cash gifts and lots of free airtime are up for grabs for 2005 lucky winners daily. Just buy any Center Fresh or Center Fruit mono. See back panel for the special promo code. Send to 38353 and start winning. Exciting wins come every day with Center Fresh and Center Fruit Liquid Fuel Gum. Buy more, win more instantly. Offer runs from 1st September to 31st October 2020.
My name na Ife, but my friends they call me Phil. Every time I play, na so I dey lose like play. But as I begin play one expert, na so my level change. Now my friends they call me Efrebo. One expert, you go win. You go win so tey you go tire. Go for onexbet.ng for more tori.
Kaduna people, Kaduna Market Development Company, they yarn all the market people them say they won't start the process for sale of application forms on Wednesday, September 9, 2020. You fit to go Sheikh Abubakar Gumi Market Office or Investment House on top Ali Akilu Road to obtain your form. Yes, so from Saturday, September 5, 2020, market people fit to check their application center, date and time for the gate of the market to know where can belong. Don't forget to carry your tax clearance certificate, Kaduna State residency card or national ID card, CAC registration document with a business premise registration for corporate individual, and 6-month receipt for payment for rent from January to June 2020 follow body. But if you no get, no even near there, pata. This na time for you to go pay all the money where you dey owe. Remember say, this na for only those wey already get shop inside the market. Management go announce date for other people wey never get shop. You fit to pay instanta, pay small or through KMDMC mortgage with Sterling Bank. To fight Koronko, you must do physical distancing with your face mask. No make mistake to buy shop from Jagoda people. But if you know here, e consign you. Na Kaduna Market Development Company bring for na this story.
All right, welcome back from that commercial timeout. Like I said earlier, I already have our guest in the studio and the other one standing by. But first, let's look at the items we'll be talking about on the program again. That's the first one is the unending worsening insecurity in the country, especially the kidnapping on our highways vis-a-vis the sustained and fruitless calls for the president to sack the service chiefs. And the second item is the high cost of foodstuff and high cost of living in the country as a result of the hike in electricity, fuel, and other items that is leading to devaluation of the Naira, thereby widening the gap between the rich and the poor. These broadly are the items that we'll be looking at. I'm sure that it is no longer news that Nigerians desire to have a more secured nation, a more secured environment, a more secured highway, and of course, Nigerians want the government to put in place everything that will secure life and properties, and of course, reduce the incessant kidnapping that's happening on our highways, and of course armed robberies, banditry, and all of that. And also many Nigerians also have been calling on the executives to have a second look at our security architecture and looking at those that are leading the security organizations and various calls for the president to have a second thought. And this has become an unending issue between the people, the legislature, and the executive, because right from the side of the people, the legislature, they have constantly and regularly asked the presidency to sack the service chiefs. And coming on the heels of the fact that Nigerians feel that they should have a better quality of life and a better living standard, and with all that's happening, dovetailing into the fact that we are having a looming hunger in this nation, looming impending hunger in this nation, and Nigerians also not feeling too comfortable with the fact that it has now it is now in the open that the federal government is looking for ways to augment our source of grains and food. Noting too that their their information in respect of the fact that the customs has also confirmed that genetically modified food crops will soon be part of the things that our farmers will have to contend with. all of these are things that we want to look at on the program today, believing that in the course of the program we would also have you, the listener, to add your voice to the conversation. But first, let's come straight to Eddy Ochigbo. Let's look at the present worsening security situation in the country. First of all, Eddy, how would you rate how secure would you say the average Nigerian is today?
Thank you very much, Eddy. First of all, my warm regards to the listening public. I want to even appreciate you for bringing out these very, very topical issues, because this is the very thing that is dominating public discourse in the country today. The issue of insecurity, worsening insecurity, so to say. It appears to me as if there is something that we are not being told, by the presidency. Because if you keep doing something the same way and you expect results, that to me itself, it doesn't work. It's insanity. From the judiciary, there have been calls for the presidency to rethink our security architecture. From the people, generality of the people go on the streets now. People are saying, why do you keep these people more than even their years, of tenure? The judiciary, the legislature, theirs was even overwhelming. You remember when a few months back,
ago,
there was a resolution on the floor of the National Assembly, especially the House of Reps, that the president should look inwards and see if we can, inject new blood into the security architecture of the country. But the presidency and the president, they remain adamant about this matter. So that raises a lot of concern. Because if you see that the security situation is worsening and you do not take any concrete steps, it shows that something is wrong somewhere, But you see the presidency and the president is fond of, laying blame. You say this is happening is because of this. Without taking any step. You are there as the man in charge for you to initiate innovation, see, especially issues that affect directly the lives and property of the people. But what I see is that remaining adamant about the issue of service chiefs, with the corresponding insecurity in the country. The only adamant to me is a recipe, for more disasters to come. Nigerians have shed. There have been enough bloodletting. Innocent Nigerians being killed on the highway. Boko Haram is still not, technically defeated, as they said.
Okay.
Things are still not okay. And yet, the service chiefs are there. Why can't we bring in? We have other, generals who can mount this thing. Why is it that it's making? What is the difficulty about changing these services so that we can try other, steps?
Okay. All right. Let's link up to Abdul Bako. Abdul Bako, are you with me?
Yes, I am with you. Good evening, listeners.
All right. Good evening.
It's a pleasure being on Ground Zero.
Welcome to Ground Zero.
My pleasure.
Okay. I'm sure you follow the snippets that I read out earlier.
Certainly.
Okay, now we are looking at the first item, the ending insecurity in the country. Now, as one that has been at the forefront of pursuit for democracy, and finally we having democracy in this country, and we know that one of the cardinal, one of the reasons why people desire to have democracy is because they want their lives and properties to be adequately secured. How secured would you say Nigerians are since the past few years in Nigeria?
If you relate it back to just 2 years, I think we will be shooting ourselves on the foot because it has been persisting in the years past, and at the advent of 2015, we thought we were going to get it right, and it still lingered, and still in 2019, here we are, still in the shackles of bad leadership, or let me say in the shackles of people who don't really care for the common and the downtrodden. It will interest you to know that for us who were at the forefront to say, yes, let there be democracy, we crave really for democracy where we will be secured. We crave seriously for where dividends of democracy are meat, food, securing our properties, and other welfares to be at the toppermost. But today, what we have is quite worrisome, and it all bows down to just one thing: the military are scared of something, and itself is being scared. It's scary within the confines of leadership. The military is afraid because they are not living up to expectations. Those that are within leadership position in the corridors of power are equally scared of the military.
Okay.
So that is why we are having this unending crisis regarding banditry, regarding kidnapping, and regarding whatsoever insecurity we find ourselves today in. Because if you look holistically, we commend the military power, because you can hear rhetorical statements, boastful rhetorical statements, that they have defeated or killed bandits or done this and that. But at the tail end of their statement, you agree with me that most of those top brass of the military are aware of this. That is why whenever they issue statements into the media, when they come into the media space, you hear them commending their gallant soldiers. Not for anything, no, they are just trying to discourage them from mutiny. But what is happening today, the military has failed us completely.
Okay. Abdul's Bako's position is that there is much more to be desired from the military. Coming back to Eddy Ochigbo now. In recent times, we know that the military has claimed one success or the other, and also we know that the government is doing so much to also encourage or beef up our military in areas of providing them with hardwares to fight the insurgency. Now, with all that the government has provided and the kind of results that we are getting from the military, is it
commensurate?
Is it commensurate?
Thank you very much, Ahis. First and foremost, to tell you that something is fishy, there is this recent security report that came from the customs.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Customs is just a paramilitary, just securing goods coming in and out, but they were privy to security intelligence, against the backdrop of, say, maybe the military big top brass didn't even know of it, or was it that they knew of such security concerns and they sat on top of it? So you begin to see that certain things are not just working well.
Okay.
But we must commend our boots on the ground, our infantrymen. Just as you are saying, that sometimes they just praise them because what they need, the equipment they need to fight this war is lacking. And all of us know of that, irrespective of the fact that the government has pumped billions and billions of naira, to the military, just fight to fight the insurgency.
Yeah.
So, while commending our soldiers for bravery, because you are here with ordinary AK-47 and people come with sophisticated weapons and you still repel them in some places and kill them. So we must praise our infantrymen. We are talking about this strategy. Strategy is in the hand of commanders.
Yeah.
You know, the war commanders. If the strategy is not correct, definitely the insecurity will linger. That makes it all the more necessary and important for government, that's the federal government, the powers that be, to say, come, let's go back to the drawing board and see what is the president afraid of. But why can't you try new hands? You know, the service chief is over. It has been overflogged and people are tired of it. Even the president himself said that the best that they have done is not good enough.
Yeah.
So if you say so, what should you do as a leader? You take concrete steps to change situation. You don't expect these people to do any magic. If they are marking time in one place, it's okay, come on, gentlemen, go on retirement, go and rest, you have tried. We have, you know, very, very intelligent and strong generals who can step into the shoes of these people. But nothing is happening. And the major concern that the government, to me, is not aware of, or seem not to be aware of, is the business of security to the people. If you don't secure your people, that's the first thing the government should do. If you don't secure your people, then
their lives and property,
and then you bring in other overwhelming changes which are negative to the people. If I drive around to see these markets or these makeshift markets and all this, if you see our Nigerians, we are very happy people. Everybody now is gloomy. See gloom on the faces of Nigerians because, you know, people are starving and we still want to appeal. We'll continue talking. We are not going to stop.
We'll come to that. You're already overflowing into our next topic. Let me quickly go back to Abdul Bako. Are you still with us?
Yes, he is. Okay, I am still with you.
Abdul Bako, with all of this that we have seen and with all that has been said, what would you be? What do you think should be the way out? If you have Mr. President listening to you now, what are those things that you tell him that you feel might be able to change the present situation?
Yes, you agree with me that when President Muhammadu Buhari came on board and when he brought up the service chiefs, the likes of Burate, Abayo, Gabriel, and Masha Sadiq, Abubakar, and the rest.
Yeah.
You would agree with me that when they came, they had that tempo of going into full securing of this nation. But today, monies have exchanged hands here and there, where there are even petitions that certain service chiefs through certain governors got this amount of money. So it is in the obvious. If petitions will go direct to authorities that are concerned, nobody is willing to take action. That is to tell you that something is wrong somewhere. The only thing that will question this effect and will give us a way forward is by retiring these service chiefs and engaging the young breed that are willing to have their names in gold. Because now, as the case may be, no matter what, those service chiefs have written their names, be it in gold, be it in silver, be it in bronze, be it in whatsoever. So the gallant officers are willing to put their names into record so that they will stand the test of time and they will be celebrated as heroes. And again, let me come back to what my very good friend Eddy Ochigbo said.
Yeah.
You see, those camps that have been built, they started building those camps in 2009. Those camps have not yielded any fruitful result. Since the establishment of those camps,
what camps have been
they've been just repairing. They never go to launch attack, and that is creating an avenue for those insurgents to even come back. Because as military men, you create camps and those people are monitoring your farms. They have information directly about you, and so what do you expect? And that is why you see most at times our military, instead of going in the defense, going in the attack, they are rather going in the defense, which is very terrible as a nation.
Okay.
So as for Mr. President, all he needs to do is to reshuffle, retire those people and bring gallant young officers who are willing to excel, to be generals too, to be chief of staffs, to be service chiefs too. They will put their name in good and they will do the rightful thing because we have the right way there.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdul Bako. We'll quickly take some messages, and right after those messages, we'll come right back on the program. Ground Zero, right here on Invicta 98.9 FM. Okay, welcome back from that commercial timeout. You're still listening to Ground Zero right here on Invicta 98.9 FM. Before we took that commercial break, we looked at the unending insecurity in the country and the calls coming from various quarters for everyone for the president to do something about all of it. Okay, now, let's look at the next item that is begging for everybody's attention, and that has to do with the impending food insecurity in the country. I'm sure that most people that go to the market have noticed that there is an increase in the price of foodstuff. Also, this is coming on the heels of the recent hike in fuel prices, the cost of fuel, pump price, and also electricity tariff. And Nigerians are calling for a stopgap because this increase would not continue like forever. So in this call made by Nigerians, is it justifiable? We are having all of these, some of these increases. Why do we have them? Is it for the purpose of creating a better future? Because like the saying of the farmer is that let's go hungry while we are planting so that we can have a bountiful harvest. Is that the situation we are presently facing in the country? What exactly is happening? Eddy, let me start from Abdul, Bako, Usman. Abdul, are you with me?
Yes, it is. I am with you.
Okay. Increase in the cost of foodstuff, increase in electricity tariff, increase in the fuel pump price, and all of that. Is it a season of sowing like the farmer for a better harvest in the future, or what exactly is happening?
You see, let's not even go into the increases that are becoming. We go back to the insecurity aspect of it. You agree with me that farmers don't go to the farm. Yes, they are just rhetoric that we are having bumper harvest here, bumper harvest there, and what have you. But no one full mechanized farming that is being allowed to go into his farm, to the extent that even local farmers who breed just consumption here have been picked in their farms. They abandon their farms and they go into other forms of trading within the metropolitan. You don't have arable lands for anything. So if government will sit down holistically and the situation open, I think it will be much better than putting issues of electricity tariff, VAT, additional costs at the expense of the downtrodden citizens. It is rather unfortunate that a government that was elected and the downtrodden today cannot cannot wine and dine with the same government. But the issue going forward should be trying to create a middle class. By the time we have an average middle class, but today what we have collectively is, if you are not poor, if you are not rich, you are poor. We don't have middle class that will be cushioning the effects between the poor and the rich. So I think the government should look inward and really cushion the effects of the citizens, not by making taxation a paramount ideology in their system of governance.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Abdul. Let's come to Eddy now. Worsening food insecurity in the country, and the government puts in place some policies that we are meant to help cushion the effect. First of all, encouraging the local farmers to plant more by sealing our borders and preventing the importation of some items. And presently we have this situation on our hands. Eddy, what is happening?
Thank you very, very much. If you ask me, it's very, very troubling. And bleak and gloomy, it's troubling. A few years back, not more than 2-3, Gari was 120 Naira in the market. Now we have more than almost 200% increase or above that. You got that price is somewhere saying 400. So whether it's 350, depending on the quality. So if Gari, the most stable food that people can just put inside water, put sugar and hold body and soul together, is that cost? Is that costly?
Yeah.
I mean, you know that there's a big challenge ahead of us. So the way forward to me, because government policies, physical and monetary policies, there have been a lot of them, but the impact, you lock the borders, and you took some concrete steps that was held, and it is not impacting positively on the lives of the people. So why don't you look at it again, re-strategize? Right now, the poultry industry was almost collapsing.
Yeah.
Before the president, the other day, ordered for the import of maize for chicken feeds and the rest of them, because like my colleague there, Abdul said, people don't even go to the farm. There are a lot of places that people have abandoned their farms because they either killed or mined. So we are faced with a very, very big challenge of insecurity that we've talked about, and now food insecurity. If these two come together, Nigerians are very, very resilient people. They are trying. People try ways to survive. But if it continues and it begins to lead to famine, and then when people are pushed to the wall, I don't know what will become of Nigeria. Steps must be taken by the federal government to cushion the hardship of the people, because increasing all these tariffs and the rest of them is a way of devaluing the Naira, because what you want to use the maybe 1,000 for today, if you go to the market, if you go there now, you will need about 1,500 or 2,000 to be able to get what you want. So that is indirect devaluation of the Naira, and it's not helping us. The government must take some steps to cushion the effect of the changes they are making, cushion this effect that are on the people, so that at least people will not be talking of going to bed hungry. A lot of people are dying just because they cannot even buy malaria medication. They die. It's unfortunate. Things have to change.
All right, Abdul Bako.
Yes, it is.
Okay, now let's quickly look at the electricity tariff increment and also the fuel. Now, first looking at the electricity tariff increment.
This is the area for this.
Yes, and various explanations coming from the discos, and the fact that a few days ago the Gencos came out to say that about 7,800 megawatts of electricity was rejected by the discos, and that now the explanations is that those that are heavy consumers will pay more, and those that consume below a certain amount will not be affected by the increment. The average man on the street does not really understand all of this. All he knows is that there's an increment, and the bandwagon effect is already, we're already feeling it in the increase in the price of staples. Abdul, Bako, do you understand this increment, and how can you explain it to us if you do?
You see, it's rather unfortunate when games come between the discos and
the Gencos.
The Gencos. The discos and the Gencos. It is very clear that what should be from the transmission company down to generating companies and through the discos for onward supply to the general public has not been met.
Yeah.
So the discos have become the whipping dog, the whipping boy that everybody knows and everybody put the blames on. But if you go inward and you go deep into the whole thing, you agree with me, from the onset, it has been clear that the discos paid a lump sum of 75% to even clear some of the bad luck that the Nigerian electricity then NEPA was paying staff, and those staffs were paid off completely. So that today the blame game has been on the discos, because every Nigerians don't know where to go to, but they fall on only the discos. They don't know who are the transmission company of Nigeria. Okay. So coming to your point, you agree with me that no matter the length of electricity supply to you, if metering was done proper and you pay as you go, no Nigerian will cry and no Nigerian will say that he is some change in any way around.
Okay.
But what is applicable today, the rich men who are the bourgeoisies in our society today feel they know the importance of light, so and the generating companies are creating a buffer for within those rich men and allowing the common man who is supposed to have a wedding workshop to enjoy a for this electricity, but they don't give in. So it is the same tariff. They shouldn't deceive us. It is just the shape creating a difference.
Okay.
They give those that are in the bourgeois classes more light than those that are in the ghetto areas.
Okay.
At a reduced time.
All right. So you are saying that it's just a ploy to further deny the poor of more electricity while giving the rich more electric power supply. Well, let's come to Eddy Ochigbo. Eddy, we are not going to talk about electricity. Let's quickly look at the fuel price hike and the bandwagon effect that is having on the country.
Thank you very much, Eddy. You know, the issue of fuel in Nigeria didn't start today.
Yeah.
If you watch a rundown of how the prices increase, it has been almost been with every government.
Yeah.
But the curious thing about it all concerning President Buhari, why he got that massive support from the people, was it is believed that he's a man of the people, president of the poor, especially when he worked in 2011, that why he's weeping was because they have denied the people, not himself, for him to come and change things. You know, he wept openly, and people who were very, very sympathetic. A general at that age were weeping for his people. So, once you touch fuel like this, it has that effect, negative effect across board, from prices of items in the market, even little businesses that we want to babish or that we need small fuel to pump,
even house rent
and all this thing. people who depend on small enterprises, petty trading. They need the light, and from 1999 till now, we've been trying to address this lighting. It's just like a voodoo. I can't even understand it. The PDP tried their own for CC, it didn't work. We thought now that with the coming of APC, that light issue will be addressed. We are still rigmaroling around 3,000 or 4,000 megawatt. Then you have challenges between the Gencos and Discos. They say, yes, they have generated, but to distribute. What is government doing? Why don't you address how it should be distributed? Instead, they release funds, and these funds get into wrong hands and they are pocketed. So we are faced with a very, very serious situation, with the hike of I mean, you have to deregulate. Nobody is saying don't regulate, but you cannot be comparing Nigeria with developed countries. That because fuel is sold on the street of New York for so dollars, you now do the arithmetic, and then those people, they have all the social infrastructure they need. Some of them go to hospital free through insurance, and the issue of education is addressed. So what I see, which is very, very unfortunate, is that the poor, like Abdul said, we don't even have a middle class now. The poor has been in the forefront of subsidizing the rich. Yeah. Because these things don't affect the rich, it's the poor. Okay. In fact, those who are in power, they don't even buy fuel. We subsidize them. So I think that a time has come for the government to do things that will touch the life of the people. Nigerians are facing real hardship, and everybody knows that.
Okay. Yes, 081400989 and 07087800989 are the numbers to dial to add your voice to our conversation this evening. Hello, good evening, welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr. East.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program.
Good evening to your guests.
Good evening.
They have talked very, very well. You are Engineer Emmanuel.
All right, Engineer Emmanuel.
The Almighty God bless you.
Amen.
And bless you.
Amen.
They are not, they say it the way it is. They're not changing well. Just as it is. Then some people will still deny that this administration are the best. That is unfortunate. This is the same thing the people passed through in 1983. That is why you see there was an overthrow of government then. And that is what is still playing out now. So, this is an administration that promised that the former administration subsidy is a scam. The people came on board. And the question I want to ask the police, I don't know if you're in the position or your guest to answer me this question. Where are those people that came out with Mr. President to protest when there was they were proposing to accelerate in fuel? Where are those people? Are they in this country, or they are maybe in isolation center, not knowing what is happening? Because it beats my imagination. If those people keep quiet, keep mute, our fuel went to 145, and none of those see anything. So I asked the administration told us that they some trillions of naira to subsidy. Meanwhile, they say it's a scam. Now, concerning the insecurity, I have a lot of friends, the elite, or those that are trying to be on their feet. They could not go to their farm. They have abandoned their farm because bandits have taken over their farm inside Kaduna here. I not Baraban just there. So, God's sake, the service chief, the president came out boldly to tell us that these service chiefs are loyal to him. For God's sake, at the detriment of over 200 million people, just 4 people, their loyalty is more than the poverty people that you take and go for protect some property. Then the Minister of Information was giving us analysis of other countries, how much they are selling their food, that Nigeria are making noise. Those countries, did they have the God-given wealth of crude oil that we have? Did he give an analysis, how much are they selling high? The former administration, they were selling like 8,000 naira. Today, I'm talking to you, I stand to be corrected. Rice is 31, 32, up to 35,000 naira. Exactly what we are talking about.
Engineer Emmanuel, I'm sure you've made your point. Let's take another call.
It's unfortunate.
All right, thank you. 081400981 is a 989 is a number to dial, and 07087800989. I just saw the call of Yusuf Goje. He was trying to connect to us. Let's see if we can link up with him and get his perspective to what we are discussing on the program. Okay, while we are waiting to connect to Yusuf Goje, let's quickly take this other call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Yes, Mr. Yusuf, good evening and good evening to your guest.
Good evening. You're welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, this is Mr. Fresh.
All right, quickly in 1 minute. Let's have your take.
Yes, you see, it's rather unfortunate that all the promises that before the coming of this government met during the campaign, I don't see any being fulfilled because the campaign insecurity. Today, insecurity is killing Nigerians. Nigerians are dying plus a few. Secondly, they came to fight against hunger. But today, you cannot even boast of buying maize for 2. You cannot even boast of doing Kunozaki, all because everything is on the increase. Nothing that this government has come to really, help the common man. Is it the fuel? Is it the tax? Whatever, everything is on the increase. So tell me, where is the gains that they made? It was the same fuel and hardship they used to send away Jonathan and his administration. But today, what are we seeing? The reverse is rather here with us. Nothing has changed. In fact, it has even gone to worse. So I call on the government and any other that is concerned to please know that if they are really for the telecows, let them work for the telecows and not to increase the pains that people are already going through. Not to talk of school fees and other things.
Mr. Fresh, you've actually used up your time. Let's pick some other calls. Thank you so much, Mr. Fresh, for adding your voice to the conversation this evening. 081 40,000 989 is the number to dial to be a part of the program. Ground Zero on a lovely Tuesday evening like this, okay? We already have some messages on our social media handles. We have something from Abdul Peter, Chidex, Sam Aboko, and David James. We'll read them out. But first, let's take this call from Yusuf Goje. Yusuf Goje, are you with us?
Hello?
Hello, Yusuf, are you with us?
Hello?
Hello, Yusuf Goje, can you hear us?
Speak on. You can hear, but...
Hello, Yusuf? We missed Yusuf Goje. Okay, let's take this other call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Yes, my name is Mazi.
Mazi, quickly, let's have your take. 1 minute.
Okay, yeah, my take is this. I just want to say that the present government has been so unfair. This is not a comparison, but during the last administration, when they gradually eased out subsidy, some form of palliatives were still in place.
Okay.
So this government has removed subsidy. Where is the form of palliative in terms of, because by then during the JJ administration, there were these federal government bosses and the rest of them. That's number one. Number two, this present government fought the past administration based on the fact that subsidy was a scam, and that they said they were going to make sure that NNPC works till date. In fact, more money has gone down turnaround maintenance than it was during the past administration. The main reason why we have food scarcity and all that Nigeria has to borrow 5,000 metric tons of maize from ECOWAS, this is a shame. It's because people have left the farm. Now, your national security policy should go hand in hand with your food security policy. What is the food security policy of this present government? The only thing that they are doing, for me, permit me to use this word, is all a scam. This present government...
You cannot use that word. Well, Mazi, that's about it. Let's quickly take this other call from Yusuf Goje. He's been trying to link up to us, but unfortunately we can't seem to hear him clearly. But while we are waiting for his call to come in, we'll take this from Abdul Aldo Peter, he said that the president, as started by his supporters before 2015 election, is a well-grounded general who took on the child soldiers even to their country. But alas, after 5 years of his government, Nigeria has never seen such insecurity of this magnitude and the lack of capacity to tackle it from the leaders. Insecurity is also a factor behind the soaring food prices. Farmers have been chased out of their farms by headsmen and kidnappers. Chidex Sam Aboko is saying, good day, presenter and the guest. On the issue of fuel hike, it is really affecting the poor masses. Price of everything has gone up. We are just coming out of lockdown. We are heading in. Where are we heading into in this country? God help us all. And David James is saying, good evening, presenter. Please help us to beg President to look inward to the security architecture in the country by listening to the cry of the people. Change security chief, please help us tell Mr. President that we are hungry. The price of commodity is on the increase and all of that. Let's see if we can get on Yusuf Goje. Now, hello, good evening, Yusuf Goje. Yusuf Goje, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, quickly, go ahead. If you can wrap it all up in 1 minute.
Wow. And I want to really align with our panelists in the studio, but to also say that the present government needs to really apologize to the immediate past government, because this removal of subsidy and the regulation of this the petroleum sector should have been done in 2012, which we should have suffered whatever we needed to suffer, and by now we should be consolidating on the gains. In itself, the removal of subsidy is a good step economically because it gives us more money to inject into the economy. But the issue is that do the citizens trust the government to utilize this money? Because from what we are gathering, the government is going to get an extra revenue of about ~1 trillion Naira from the regulation and removal of subsidy. So if that is the case, it means that citizens must put an eye on government to ensure that this revenue is utilized meaningfully. You know, in our last engagement together, we said that we were indebted and 99% of our revenue is used to service debt. And the removal of subsidy is the only logical economic step to take. But the question is that do we trust the government enough to utilize these monies in a way that would benefit the larger citizens, or will it be business as usual where monies are diverted to private pockets?
Yusuf Goje, let's all do there. We will continue this conversation on Saturday because we are really and sincerely out of time. I want to thank all my guests for having time to be on the program today. Abdul, Bako, Usman, President, Campaign for Democracy. Thank you so much. Eddy, Ochigbo, thank you so much for having time to be on the program.
My pleasure.
Until on Saturday from 4 to 5, I'll be on again for another package of the program Ground Zero. Like always, I'll say, plant the tree today, nurture it and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all. I am Ehis Admo. I'm the peacemaker with a passion for crowd satisfaction. I'd like to especially say a very big happy birthday to Apostle Dr. Charles Christopher, the General Overseer of God is at Work Ministry and Guaromi by Baggy Villa here in Kaduna. Congratulations to you. Many more blessings, many more years in good health. Until on Saturday, just keep the dial locked on Invicta 98.9 FM.